Hey YouTube, it's your girl Dr. J, and I got my mini-me with me, the princess, and we're doing a video response to the Intelligent Beauty because she asked a couple really great questions about reading programs for her 5-year-old. The reading programs that I use with my kids, we use two full reading programs. The first is called Easy Read, and it is a program that's based out of the UK, and it deals a lot with phonics and really focuses on decoding for kids. It's an amazing program that works well for us, mainly because it's based out of the UK. So it has a lot of words in the program that really aren't familiar to my kids. They're not things that we use in everyday language. So it really takes out a lot of the guessing. Another thing that it does to help with taking out guessing is that it has them, like it has a game called Mushroom Picker where they give you a question. Let me move the mic to make sure that people can hear me. Okay, it basically gives you questions that are very words that are very similar, and you have to choose which one is correct. And it just really takes the guessing out because the words will have a very similar or the same beginning and ending. And so you can't just say, okay, I looked at the beginning and end of the word so I can guess it, because all the beginning and endings are the same. So it really helps with decoding, and it's games based. The thing that is probably the biggest downside of Easy Read is that it is a really expensive program. I think for one child it's like $1,200. When you add on additional children, the price per child drops a lot, but it's still a really expensive program. So it's one that I only recommend that people look at if you have a child that has severe reading issues. For me, it was so important for my kids because they are gifted and dyslexic, and so they're really great at guessing, really great at getting their way through context, and I didn't want this to become an issue later. And so for us, we needed a program that was going to absolutely wipe out their ability to guess. So if you have a child that's highly gifted and also a dyslexic, then that's definitely kind of the route that I would at least look at to see if it was feasible. Another program that we use is Reading Assistant. Reading Assistant is great. It's a much lower cost program, especially if you go through the Homeschool Buyers Co-op to get your subscription to the program. I think it's like around $150 or so. And that helps with fluency, and also cuts out guessing because they have to read an actual book, and it tracks their reading word for word, and it tracks how many words they read per minute, how many they got correct, any words they get incorrect during that reading. It goes, has them go over and practice those words. So it's just a really, really good program. Kids like it because they use it independently. So they have headphones with the mic attached where they read the book back to the program, and it tracks how they do. So I really like that, and the kids actually really enjoy that. They really enjoy both reading programs. So those are two programs that I have experience in and that I recommend that hit those two issues that you were talking about, really, which is giving your son words that he's not familiar with, as well as helping to take out the guessing and helping him to really work his way through the text. So that's one issue that I think that you were talking about. The other, I think, is more of like a language arts type issue where you're teaching your child. How do you teach your child to look at clues and different types of clues that your child can look at to really help understand what the context of the story is going to be? And I haven't found a program that does that. I think that's more of sitting down with your child and really figuring those things out. That tends to be what's worked best with us. One program that I really like, or not, it's not even a program, it's really a book that has different grade levels associated with it that I love. It's actually from Royal Fireworks Press, and it's called Suppose the Wolf Were an Octopus. And this is the K through 2nd, and it has 3rd through 4th and 5th through 6th. One thing about this is from the Royal Fireworks Press, and so these books were designed for gifted children, so you don't have to worry about going up grade levels. For instance, if I were looking for a reading book that focused on reading for kids for in a traditional school environment, I would upgrade the level. So, you know, my daughter and her twin, they're in first grade, so I wouldn't choose a K through second book for them. But because this book is designed for gifted kids, the K through second one works very well with them. And the thing that I like about this book is that it uses Bloom's taxonomy, and so it has Bloom's 6 levels of questions in it. And so like each book is going to have, you know, level 1 is knowledge, level 2 comprehension, level 3 application, level 4 analysis, level 5 synthesis, and level 6 evaluation. And that evaluation is where you start to get, you know, these sort of questions. And the premise of Suppose a Wolf Were an Octopus was that if you were reading The Three Little Pigs, once your child, you know, could comprehend it, evaluate it, you know, give you synthesis back, then you start to look at, okay, now how would this story go? Oh, thank you, Bugga. You can stay in here with us. You want to stay in here with us? Oh, okay, you want to go with Daddy? All right. You would really be able to you know, start to say, okay, well, how would the story work if instead of a wolf it were an octopus? So that's what it's about. So that really is a great book for teaching context cues to your child, really having them sit down and synthesize the story. And it's designed for younger children, and as your child gets older, you can pretty much learn the method yourself. Like, I haven't bought the 3rd to 4th book, even though I use this concept with my oldest, who is a 3rd grader. But so once you get it and get it down really, really well, you can just do Bloom's taxonomy on your own. But if you want to do the shortcut route, you could always buy up levels of these books. Another thing that I like to use when looking at the mystery of reading or teaching good language arts, reading comprehension skills with the kids, and really the big thing is that, especially with gifted, and your 5-year-old sounds absolutely like a gifted child, is that you don't really have to teach comprehension for gifted kids, but you do want to make sure that you're teaching like just analysis of the story and anticipation, and making sure that they're in the context and looking at things from the view of the author. One of the big things you have when you have gifted kids and their reading is that a lot of times they might look at the context from their own perspective, and so they misjudge where the story is going because they're not looking at it from the perspective of the author. And actually using mystery stories is something that's really good. And some of the ones that I recommend, especially for young children, and by young children, I'm talking about kind of that K through 4th, 5th grade level, but it may vary for your kid. This is going to work really well with gifted kids. My kids have really started to get into the boxcar children. And what happens is, after you get past the boxcar children, they go, the original story, they start going into mysteries. And so this one, like, we just got back off a cruise, so I got them the mystery cruise book. Each book is, you know, they're very reasonably priced. I load a lot onto their Kindles. Like, you can get them for like $3 or $4 if you have a Kindle, and you can also read Kindle books online. And I think the paperback books themselves are about $4 or so. And you can also, you know, usually find these at garage sales, thrift stores, all that kind of stuff, because Boxcar Children has been around forever. Another thing I like, especially with young children, and if your child has any signs of dyslexia, is using audiobooks, because they get all the benefits of, you know, the book being the reading of the book, but it was read to them so they can concentrate on comprehension. And so my oldest, he's actually really liked this, which is the Ferret Chronicles. He is a ferret lover, and this is a book on kind of, you know, ferrets who rescue people at sea. It's fun, but and it runs about 2.5 hours. Freddy the Detective, I'm a big fan of the Freddy series. Freddy the Detective is one that's really good. And those first books that I showed you, they all tend to be really old. The Boxcar Children, I think, dates back to like the 1940s or 50s. Freddy the Detective, kind of I think the 1920s and 30s. So I tend to find that my kids like the older books best. Another way to really help with understanding context is to not just get straight reading books, but to get books that have another sort of spin to them. This is a book by Stephen Hawking and his daughter, and it is George's Cosmic Treasure Hunt, and it basically it's a reading book, and it has mystery involved, but it's really also teaching kind of some concepts of physics and astronomy and that sort of stuff. So it has, bless you, honey. So it has some really good conversation starters, because there's only so many types of questions that you can come up with, and analysis that you can do around the Three Little Pigs. And so having books like this is really nice. Another one that I like, Penrose the Mathematical Cat. This is really about solving mathematics-based mysteries. Like, the first thing that they'll do is binary numbers, and so that's really good because it's helping your child to understand reading context, not just in terms of language arts, but also in mathematics, because a lot of times people don't understand the importance of children having really strong reading skills to do well in math. But once you get past kind of that lower level math, once you get past about third grade math, reading is just as important as calculation skills. And so I really love Penrose for just helping kids understand the importance of close reading, because there's no way that your child will be able to figure out how to do these math problems without doing close reading. And so this is a way to teach close reading, word for word reading, context, and thinking through what they've read. This is a great book for that. Another book, the art auction mystery. This is just another way to really look at close reading from a different perspective, and this has kids solving mysteries at an art museum. Like, they learn how to spot a fake picture from the real picture, and then so it gives them all the ways that you go through to analyze if a picture is fake or real, and then it gives them photos, and then they have to determine for themselves which one is the real Mona Lisa and which one is fake. And so I again really like that. For a young child, especially a new reader, I really like Nate the Great mystery-based books, because I think that the thing that's really good about mystery-based books is that it really allows your child to have a reason for looking at the title, have a reason for thinking about context. Because when you try to teach those skills, and it's not a book that's really kind of focused on those things, it can be kind of mind-boggling. And with gifted kids, they have to understand why. They have to understand the reason why they're doing certain things, and having mystery books really is well for that. And for girls, I really like, or girls and boys, because my boys like Fancy Nancy too. But for girls, I really like, or for kids, I really like Fancy Nancy. This is Super Sleuth. These are books that basically go beyond the first early readers for Fancy Nancy. These are recommended for kids ages 7 through 10, but definitely a 5 or 6 year old would do well with it. Especially if they're gifted and just like mysteries. And so it's Fancy Nancy books, so the characters are familiar, Nancy and Bree, but it's all about solving mysteries. And when you introduce, like, why do we look at the title, why do we look at the author, why do we think about the things that the author wrote in the past to anticipate how this author is going to be doing things now, how do we look at context to be able to guess what's going to happen next and what's logical. Doing that within a mystery book will make the process much less tedious, and it will also help your child figure out why we do those things. So those are the things that I would recommend. I hope this has been helpful. Definitely post me some questions or concerns, and I'll try to definitely answer those for you. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. This is Dr. J, and I'm out.
Bye.
And little mini me says bye as well.